It is now my pleasure to introduce the Honourable David Bradbury MP, Assistant Treasurer and Minister Assisting for Deregulation.
Well, thank you very much, Chloe, and can I acknowledge my ministerial colleague, the Honourable Jenny Macklin, and thank Jenny for her effort in coming along today to celebrate the opening of this important expo here in Penrith. Can I also acknowledge my parliamentary colleague from the State Parliament, Mr Stuart Ayres, and Denise Heath, the CEO of NATO, and all of the team at NATO for the work that they've done in organising today and the expo for tomorrow as well. Can I acknowledge our two mayors, His Worship the Mayor of the City of Penrith, Councillor Greg Davies, and also Councillor Kim Ford from Hawkesbury. Can I congratulate you both on your re-election on the weekend? And I have to say, on the weekend I was reflecting upon the fact that it was 13 years since I was first elected to represent our community as a councillor back in 1999. And I thought about it, a lot has changed in that time. I'm still as passionate about Penrith as I was when I was first elected. And I think it'd be fair to say I've got a lot less hair than I did back then. I'm not sure if it's the weight of elected office or not, but it has been a great privilege to serve our local community. One of the first jobs that I got to do as a councillor here in Penrith was to be a member of the Disability Access Committee. And I have to say it has been one of the most eye-opening experiences that I've had. It was a great opportunity to show me just how there are so many seemingly invisible barriers that exist within our community that stop people with disability from realising their potential. And just as I became aware of all those little planning factors that can become a barrier, I become even more aware of the great contribution that people with disability are making and can make in our community. And that's why I'm especially proud to be a part of a Labor government that is now putting on the national agenda this very important reform of the National Disability Insurance Scheme. This is something that people have been talking about for generations. I hope we get it done. I know we've launched it, we've got our launch sites up and running, and I really do hope we can all work closely together to make sure that we can build a fairer system that gives people with disability, their families, their carers, service providers, the tools that they need so that everybody can realise their potential and make a great contribution to our community. There have been lots of people that have played an important part in that process, but no one has contributed more than Jenny Macklin, and that's why I'm especially delighted to have the opportunity to introduce Jenny to you all today. Can I say that Jenny is someone that at a moment's notice is prepared to come out here to Penrith. She's made many trips. She's an honorary member of the local community. She was out here not long ago to visit Nepean Lifestyle. But just to give you a bit of a sense of her passion and her commitment, we've been sitting in Canberra for Parliament this week. Late last night, we all went home. Now that was all right for me because I live 10 minutes away. Jenny went all the way back to Melbourne, and then she flew up here this morning to be here for this important occasion. That shows the passion, the dedication that she has, and I'm absolutely convinced that the National Disability Insurance Scheme would not be achieving the sort of momentum that it is without Jenny's drive and her commitment. So I'd like you all to put your hands together and to welcome the Honourable Jenny Macklin.
Thank you very, very much, David, for those very kind words of introduction. Can I join with everybody here in acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which this wonderful expo is happening today. I do want to acknowledge any elders who are with us, and of course to also ask us all to take a moment to acknowledge elders past. This is an extraordinary expo. Can I just say to all of you who've been involved, congratulations. And it is wonderful to be here with David, who is not only a wonderful ministerial colleague, but plainly loves Penrith and everything that goes on here in Penrith. And it is true, he gets me out here very regularly. So thank you very much for doing it again, because I don't think I could have really imagined what this was like without coming and seeing it. So thank you so much. I want to acknowledge my state parliamentary colleagues, Stuart Ayres, and of course the two mayors. Thank you so much for being here and welcoming us to Penrith, Greg, and also to Kim Ford, the Mayor of Hawkesbury. But most of all, of course, to Denise, and all of your staff, and all of the people who are here organising the stalls, because really this would not be here if it wasn't for your fantastic efforts and commitment. And what we see here is not only your effort to make this wonderful expo a reality year after year, but of course it demonstrates your commitment to people with disabilities, to carers and their families every single day. Yes, this happens and we can all go around and look at the great work you're doing here at the Expo, but it is an opportunity for all of us to think about what it is you're doing behind the scenes, in communities, in families, all the time, to make sure that people with disability have got the chance to have an independent life. So I do want to say very sincerely how much I appreciate it and how much I know everyone in the federal government appreciates what you do. I do want to just divert for a moment and tell you about something I did yesterday morning. I actually came up to Sydney yesterday morning as well to welcome home our Paralympians, and that was one of those moments that you'd really die for. It's just one of those things to be able to be part of it and stand there at Sydney Airport very early in the morning, see them all coming off the plane. So excited to be home, so proud to be Australians, but of course incredibly pleased with themselves for winning so many medals. I think it was 85 medals. And as Wayne Swan said very proudly yesterday when we were welcoming them home, we beat the Americans. We didn't manage to beat the British, but it was in London, so probably that was always going to be pretty hard. I do want to say a few words about the National Disability Insurance Scheme and to really pick up from where David started this conversation. This is an incredibly exciting time in disability care and support. As each and every one of you knows, this is an area where it is underfunded. It is a lottery. It does depend on where you live or how you got your disability, whether or not you were born with a disability, whether you got it because of an illness or an accident. All of that at the moment determines the sort of care and support that you get. Well, we don't think that's right. We think that Australians should know that however you get your disability, you should be guaranteed to get the care and support you need to get the support to live an independent life. So we have now started to build the National Disability Insurance Scheme, and I am really pleased that we are going to have one of the major launch sites here in New South Wales. So we'll start here in the Hunter in New South Wales, down in Victoria, South Australia, Tassie, and in the Australian Capital Territory. So it is a very, very exciting time for everybody who's been really arguing, I think sometimes feeling like they're arguing themselves hoarse, to make sure that we get and make the National Disability Insurance Scheme real. That is now happening. The federal government, thanks to David's support, is going to put in $1 billion extra to make it real, and that's a very significant first step to really seeing this happen. I'll be putting legislation into the Parliament in a few months' time, which of course will be the next stage to really show people we're not only putting the money in, getting the work on the ground started in the Hunter in the first instance, but also getting the laws through our federal Parliament. It is a very exciting time, a very important time for people who are disability service providers, and if I can say to all of you who are in this field, whether you're a service provider whether you're an individual with a disability, whether you're a family member, please have your say over the next little while in particular about all the decisions that are being made between now and next July. There's lots of talk going on, lots of avenues for you to have your say. Please do so. I'm sure David will be very happy to help make that happen in the local area. We want to hear from you. It is something that I think it's one of those moments in Australia's history that we'll all be able to look back on in a few years' time and say, we collectively were all part of that. And I know those of you here in Penrith, as I can feel the buzz in this fantastic expo, are going to be part of this huge transformation of the national, to build the National Disability Insurance Scheme. So let's all join together, enjoy the expo. It's a thrill to be here. Thank you so much to Denise and everybody else again. Thank you, David, for asking me. And it's with great pleasure that I think we're going to cut some ribbons and do some certificates. Thank you.